Hi everyone, my name is Bhargavra Mahata, register number UR15CS051. Today I am doing my third data C++ experiment, which is structure and function. Today for the first question is create a structure for employee with members such as employee ID, employee name, designation, salary. Use the function to get the details of the employee, calculate the salary depend upon the designation, finally display the details of the employee in the following format. So this is the header functions used in the program, and then we'll declare global variables, basic, DA and tags, which are of float type. Then we'll create the structure employee with members such as employee ID, which is integer type, character name, which a name which is of character array type, then the designation which is also of character array type, and then salary which is of float type. Then we'll start the main method and create the employee array structure array which is of size 10. Then we'll declaring variables I and n which is of integer type. Then we'll display the a message to user telling him to enter the number of employees which will be taken as input in n. Then we'll start a loop from 0 to n, asking the user to enter the details of the employee, first employee ID, then employee name, designation. Then we'll check if the designation entered is manager. Then we'll take basic as 50,000, and the DA will be calculated as basic into 0.15, and the tax will be calculated as basic into 0.12. Else if the designation is system admin, then we'll take the basic as 30,000, and the DA will be calculated as basic into 0.12 and tax as basic into zero point 0.1. Then the salary will be calculated by the formula basic plus DA minus tax. Then again we'll start a loop from 0 to n, which is to display the details of each employee, which are the ID, name, designation and salary. Now we'll run this code. It's asking us to enter the number of employees. We'll take two employees. Enter the details of employee 1, means employee ID, name, designation, enter employee ID, employee name, his designation is. So here the details of employee 1 is displayed as employee ID, name ABC, designation manager, and his salary is this. And the details of employee 2 are employee ID this, the employee name XYZ, designation system admin, and his salary this. So now we'll see the next question of which is write a C++ menu driven program to find the area and perimeter of different shapes like circle, rectangle, square, cube, triangle, and use the concept of function overloading. First we'll declare the header files, then we'll use a function called area which has a variable which has a parameter r which is of float type. In this we will take a variable area which is of float type, and we'll calculate the area by the formula 3.14 into r, and we'll print the area of the circle which is area stored in area variable. Then we'll again call another area which has the parameters L and B which are of integer type. Then we'll have an area variable which is of long int type, and we'll calculate the area by the formula length into breadth and print the area of rectangle which is stored inside the variable area. Then another area function which stores which has the parameter s which is of integer type, and then another variable inside the function which is of long int type, and the area of the square is calculated by the formula s into s, and it is displayed after. The next function, which is also area, has three parameters all of float type, a, b and c. Then we'll have a variable called area inside the function which is of double type. The area is calculated as 6 into a into b, and the area of the cube is displayed Again, then we'll have a area function which have three variables which are of integer type, and then we'll inside this we'll declare that we'll call another function which is peri peri, which has three integer type variables inside. Then we'll declare two variables inside this function, p and area, which are both of float type. And then p and the value of p will be equal to the function call of peri by passing the parameters a, b and c. And the area is calculated by the formula root of p into p minus a into p minus b into p minus c, and the area of the triangle is displayed, which is stored inside the area variable. And then another pairing method is called which is has one parameter only, which is a float type, and inside it a variable peri which is also a float type, and it's calculated by the formula 2 into 3.14 into r, and the perimeter of the circle is displayed. Then another peri function which has two parameters l and b, and another variable inside it which is of long int type, and the perimeter is calculated by the formula 2 into length plus breadth, and the perimeter is displayed. The next peri function will have only one parameter which is of integer type s, and the variable peri which is also of long int type. Perimeter is calculated as 4 into s, and it's displayed as the perimeter is of the square is peri. Then another peri function which has three variables which are all of float a, b, c, and a variable inside it which is of double type, and the perimeter of the cube is calculated by the formula peri equal to 12 into a, and it is displayed. And finally the last function which is also named peri, a float type, which will have three variables, three parameters a, b and c, all of integer type, and also a variable inside the function which is float type, and it perimeter is calculated, perimeter of the triangle is calculated by the formula a plus b plus c by 2, and the value is returned. In the main method, first we'll initialize, we'll declare the variables integer type n, s, l, b, float r, and character cs. Then inside a do while loop, we'll give user the menu, which is if he wants to find out the uh, if he wants to calculate for circle, 2 for rectangle, 3 for square, 4 for cube, 5 for triangle, and 6 for exit. And we'll take it in the variable n. Then we will check if n is equal to 1. Then we'll ask enter the radius, and we'll take the radius in r, and the area and the perimeter will be displayed by calling the functions area and peri. Accordingly, if n is equal to 2, we'll do enter length and breadth, and then we'll do, and if n is equal to 3 and n is equal to 4, accordingly the functions will be called for area and perimeter, and the number of inputs would be asked according to the circle, triangle, square or cube we are finding. And if none of them matches, then we'll just come out of the do while loop. So now we want to execute this program. Okay, so first we are asking for one, first we'll enter option 1, which will be a circle. So it's asking radius, we'll give the radius as 5. So it's asking if you want to do area or perimeter. So first we'll see if area is 78.5. You want to continue on now? Yes. Again it's asking for again it's displaying the menu, and we want to enter. This time we'll do it for square, and it's asking to enter the side of the square. Let's enter it as 4. Then last time it's been for area, so this time we are going to see perimeter. So perimeter of the square is 16. So we want to go. This time we'll see for triangle. So enter first side, so 4, enter second side 5, enter third side 6. So we'll want to find the perimeter. So the perimeter is 7. So as we can see, all the functions are working correctly. So this code is executing fine. So we don't want to continue. So we'll end it here. And then the third question is, write a C++ program to find the Fibonacci series for the given input using recursive function. So this is the header files, and the function Fibonacci, which is of long int type and also has a parameter n as long int. So we'll check a condition. If n is equal to 0 or n equal to 1, will return 0. Else if n equal to 2, then we'll return it as 1. Else we'll make a recursive call Fibonacci n minus 1 plus Fibonacci n minus 2 plus Fibonacci n minus 3. In the main method, we'll have two variables which are of long int type n and I, and input the number of terms for Fibonacci series. We'll display a message to user telling to him to enter the number of terms for Fibonacci series, and it will be stored in n, and then we'll display that Fibonacci series as follows and start a loop and display by calling the Fibonacci function with the variable I. So now we'll see the output for this program. So it's asking input the number of terms for Fibonacci series. So I've entered 5. So the Fibonacci series is as follows: 0 1 1 2 2 0 1 1 2 4. And last question is, write a C++ for as program to perform addition and subtraction of two 3D vectors using the structure and function. So again we'll declare the header files, then we'll create a structure named vect which has three variables I, j and k, all of integer type. Then we'll start the main method and we'll create the object for the structure, two objects a and b, and we'll have a character variable ch and an integer variable n. Then inside the do while loop, we will display a menu telling to enter 1 for vector addition, 2 for vector subtraction, and we'll take the input in n. Then we'll check if n equal to 1. We'll ask the coefficient of the first vectors, coefficient of the I, j and k for the first vector, a vector, and again for the b vector, and coefficients for I, j and k. Then we'll calculate the addition and display. Else if n is equal to 2, we'll take the input for the I, j, k coefficients of the first vector and the second vector and do the subtraction. And then we'll ask the user, then we'll display user a message asking him if he wants to continue or not, and his input is stored in ch, and we'll check in the while condition. Now we'll see the code for this one. So first you want to do vector addition. So coefficient for I vector 2, for j 3, k 4, for I 1, for j 3, 4. So the first vector addition result is given as 3i, 6j, 8k. So again we want to continue. This time we'll do vector subtraction. For first vector, coefficients will be 6, 4, 1, and for the second vector it will be 5, 3, 4. So after subtraction, the result is a or result of a minus b vector is I comma j comma minus 3k. So as you can see, this code is working correctly. So we'll end this code here. So this is the end of the video. Thank you.